Proceed with caution as Naomi becomes the first ever black woman to win the Money in the Bank match. The revolutionary, the visionary Seth Rollins, well, his vision is coming to pass as Seth Rollins wins the Money in the Bank match for the second time in his career. And R-Truth makes a shocking return to WWE, costing John Cena in the main event of Money in the Bank. It's time to talk about it. WWE Money in the Bank. What's up, people? It's your boy Mex, the WrestleManiac, and another Money in the Bank pay-per-view is in the books. A very, very fine show following a very, very fine Worlds Collide show. I wouldn't say any major thrills, but we do have some talking points. So without further ado, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's jump into it. The show opened up with the women's Money in the Bank match. We had Stephanie Vaquer versus Julia versus Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi. This match was really fun. I felt like at points it slowed down, like they were trying to kind of build spots and put things together. I did see an element of what I'll call fatigue in Stephanie Vaquer. She had wrestled 2 matches this weekend before this one, so she's really putting in the work, including a match that was literally hours before this one. So I definitely kind of sympathize with her in her performance, but I think she was still great. She is a shining star in the WWE. And I think this was what this match was. We had half the field were, emerging talents that we are getting more and more used to in the WWE. And then we had some real veterans in here trying to kind of live the life of yesteryear with winning championships, so on and so forth. This match was really fun. I had predicted Naomi to climb to the top of that ladder and pull down the briefcase, and that is exactly what she done. Naomi, first ever black woman to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's a fantastic feat, and at this point in her career, she really deserves it because she is sinking her foot, her teeth, sinking anything else she can sink into this particular run, and it's paying off. It's really paying off. Like, she's got some real edge to her. And even in that moment where, she has really done something, she's pulled down that Money in the Bank briefcase, she's composed herself and she stayed within character. The maniacal laughing had me. I was like, oh my God, is she going to cry? Is she going to find this really emotional to deal with? But no, she was brilliant. Naomi has won that Money in the Bank. And now the possibilities really are endless. We have Naomi with the Money in the Bank. We have Jade Cargill, who has really declared herself now as someone that's going to go for the Queen of the Ring. And we have a returning Bianca Belair. Now, of course, we probably need the championship somewhere in between. So I'm pretty sure Naomi is going to cash in on Tiffany Stratton. That's who she's going to pick. It's a matter of when. Will it be Evolution? Will it be the 2-night SummerSlam? I think these are great places to kind of really, put a stamp on these 2 events. So Naomi, it's a matter of time before she becomes women's champion, in my opinion, and I absolutely love that for her. Hard work has paid off. She left the WWE, remember, and now she's returned and finally being given something to do, which is great. So big up Naomi. We had a men's Intercontinental Championship match on this card. Now, this was birthed from the Worlds Collide show where we had Dominic Mysterio come to blows with Octagon Jr. And this was something that came completely out of nowhere. Dominic Mysterio issued the challenge and said, meet me at Money in the Bank and I'll put this on the line, this being the Intercontinental Championship. And so they did. Hours later, they found themselves on the Money in the Bank card. Dominic Mysterio defending the title against Octagon Jr. An absolutely fine match. A great way to include one of the stars of AAA on the Money in the Bank card. Dominic Mysterio retained the championship and it was an absolutely fine match, like I say. We'll see where this goes forward if Dominic Mysterio finds himself going up against more luchadors from AAA. But yeah, I really enjoyed this and I thought a good way to kind of give some shine back to AAA on the biggest stage, which was Money in the Bank. We move on to the Intercontinental Championship match that we did expect. This was Becky Lynch going up against Lyra Valkyria. This was Becky Lynch's last chance to win the Intercontinental Championship whilst Lyra was the champion. She wouldn't be able to challenge again if she lost this particular match. These two's chemistry is off the charts. They just want to sell for each other. They lay it in thick. They're laying it in hard. They really give it a good go. And, Becky Lynch has helped Lyra to elevate this Intercontinental Championship. Lyra has just come into her own, a whole new person. And the story that they're telling using the roll-up as a pin is actually a funny one because Lyra beat Becky all those years ago for the NXT title with a roll-up. She also beat Becky again for the Intercontinental Championship with a roll-up. So Becky now winning with a roll-up and pulling a bit of the tights, because of course she was going to have to cheat to win for this one, to kind of make it even more sour for Lyra to lift her hand in victory. And lifting her hand wasn't even the end of it. Becky made Lyra Valkyria put the belt around her waist, but as she did that, Lyra got a bit back of her own, which was good to kind of, make her come out strong despite Becky's shenanigans. So yeah, Becky is the Intercontinental Champion, and I think it's really, really well done. The whole thing was really, really well done. And I'm just going to start a little bit of a conversation. You guys put below down in the comments. Is Becky Lynch one of the greatest wrestlers that have ever wrestled in the WWE? Especially for women. Like, how highly do you rate Becky Lynch? Because she has done it all. Literally, she has done it all. And even when I was watching this and the shenanigans leading up to this, the promos and stuff like that, the vignette, I thought, you know what? Becky Lynch, I know some may say the performance is unbelievable. She's acting like a bad guy a bit. But she is really great. Like, she really, really gets it. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments if you think Becky Lynch is one of the greatest female wrestlers to ever wrestle for the WWE. Next up, we had a men's Money in the Bank ladder match where Penta, Americano, Andrade, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Seth Rollins battled it out to see who would become the next men's Money in the Bank winner. This match was absolutely crazy. This is what I call a stonker. Like, this was mental. Now, there was some things that I don't feel really made sense, and I will get to that. But just for the action and how tense it became when, we're kind of drawing to the end of the match, and Rollins goes up and comes down, and LA Knight goes up and comes down, and then Americano loads the mask and gives a headbutt from the top of the ladder, and you think, oh my god, Americano is going to win it. And then we had the whole saga of the rest of Seth Rollins' guys, the Bronsons, coming out and just taking out everyone, almost clearing the field for Seth Rollins to do it. And then we saw, Solo's family come out in the way of JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu. But then all of a sudden, Jacob Fatu turned because he heard on SmackDown that Solo thinks he's a Neanderthal. And Solo was, given the whole thumbs up, thumbs down, Solo, I hate you treatment. And oh my god, there was just so much going on. Jacob Fatu has turned on Solo in all of this. And in the end, it was the obvious. It was Seth Rollins climbing that ladder to become Mr. Money in the Bank. But my god, did they take us on a trip round the sun to get there. And I think if you're going to do the obvious, at least make it exciting. So kudos to WWE because they did really make that finish exciting, despite it was obvious that we thought it would be Rollins winning the Money in the Bank. Now, one thing I do have to say about this, Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank was seen as a cancer, especially to the likes of a CM Punk and a Sami Zayn. Where were those two? Where were those two? Because this is a non-disqualification match. Every other person under the sun came out to, make sure their guy won. Where were those two to stop this so-called cancer winning this Money in the Bank? I can't understand how Sami Zayn put so much emphasis on the likes of CM Punk. You must get through to Money in the Bank and you must stop Seth Rollins from winning it. You put so much emphasis on the fact that this couldn't happen, Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank, that you just didn't even turn up yourself to ensure that this never happened. I think that's a pothole, and I think that, you guys needed to do better with that. Even if Sami Zayn came out and Bronson took him out or whatever the case is, or Jacob Fatu or whomsoever, you tried. You tried. For CM Punk, especially Sami Zayn, to not turn up in this instance because it's so bad if Seth Rollins wins the Money in the Bank, yeah, that you failed there. You failed. One, if not both of them, definitely should have turned up. Sami Zayn, I'm looking at you. Last but not least, we had the main event, and to be honest, I feel like this shouldn't have been the main event. And the minute it was, I felt, oh, what's going to happen? Is Roman going to return potentially? Or is The Rock or Travis Scott or someone going to get involved? Someone got involved, but it was none of those names. Now, this match was fine, I think. It was slow and plodding at times, which I think we've come to expect of John Cena matches and some of the other characters involved. We saw a really good moonsault by Logan Paul, the SI moonsault outside, which I think was absolutely crazy through the table. Yeah, well, some nice spots, but it really kind of kicked in when, of course, there was a ref bump. John Cena, he took the title to Cody Rhodes. When John Cena thought he had kind of wrapped it all up, we saw a figure in all black appear and he took out John Cena. The person revealed themselves to be R-Truth. R-Truth also carried the title, smashed it over Cena's heads. We got a crossroads and Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena, which is more than likely now going to set up the rematch. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Don't know where we get it. Will that be Night of Champions? You'd think it'll be a bigger stage, maybe SummerSlam. But yeah, Cody Rhodes has pinned John Cena. Now, the big story is that R-Truth is back. R-Truth is back. You know, this was like, what, a week ago he lost his job? A week ago, should I say, that we were told as a fan base, as an audience, that his contract was not being renewed. He hadn't been released. His contract was not to be renewed. Now, that makes it still sound like he is under contract, but as the WWE do, now that we've made the announcement, we're not going to use him anymore on TV. That is a very big possibility. His contract may have expired. I don't know if the finer details of his actual contract dates and stuff has actually come out, but his contract may have actually expired and they've brought him back. Who knows? But what an ovation R-Truth got. He looked mean. He looked like he meant business. And from a man that saved John Cena against Randy Orton has now costed John Cena. It was a brilliant bit of storytelling. And seemingly, this may be like a new coat of paint for R-Truth, because it looks like, if you're following WWE Shop, they're referring to him as Ron Killings. So is R-Truth done with? Is R-Truth dead? And ultimately, we are rebirthing him as Ron Killings, giving him a fresh coat of paint and maybe giving him a new lease of life. Who knows? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see if this is a case where maybe he is still under contract and WWE do still plan to get rid of him, but this was like one last thing he could fulfill to kind of put a nice bow on everything. We'll have to wait and see. We just really do have to wait and see. Triple H at the press conference, he made it seem like this was all part of the plan. He said, you're watching the show, it's part of the show. I don't really know what that means, because we saw as well that R-Truth's son said, stop the cap, when Triple H said that particular statement. So at this point, I don't think we know who to believe. I don't believe it's a work. I believe that they were done with R-Truth and they saw the crowd swell and everyone wanted him back. And they've done the right thing and brought him back. That's what I personally believe. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if you think that R-Truth is just still under contract and just still working off his dates. Or did they get rid of him and then bring him back? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So that is it. Another Money in the Bank in the books. Naomi walks away with a briefcase. Seth Rollins walks away with a briefcase. R-Truth returns. Cody Rhodes pins John Cena. And will we get Cena, Cody Rhodes 2? Where are we going to get it? It must be coming, but where on the calendar will it be? As well as Jacob Fatu turning on Solo. I hate you, Solo! It's happened. It's happened. So we're going to wait and see how the next week of wrestling pans out. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Mex. I make videos on WWE and AEW. So if that sounds like something for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified every single time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.